Hello everyone. So today we are going to learn about the buttons on web and what are the accessibility requirements for the buttons. Let's start the topic with a great thought that if you have knowledge, let others light their candles in it. So share this information to everyone struggling with accessibility implementation because accessibility is not a feature, it is a social trend. So, on the web, buttons are basically the interactive UI elements that helps users to perform certain actions such as submitting a form, opening a dialog, etc. The accessibility of buttons completely depends upon the code written behind it. You can create buttons either using semantic markup or non-semantic markup. Semantic markup means using a proper HTML element according to its intended meaning and purpose. In HTML, a semantic button can be created using a button element. When it comes to accessibility, the semantic button by default works properly with assistive technologies and keyboard navigation, and hence, no additional manual effort is required to make the button accessible in terms of operability. However, the other factors such as color contrast, sizing, and descriptive label needs evaluation. Now, when it comes to non-semantic markup, it means that you are using elements such as div, span, paragraph which do not convey any meaning and do not have any intended purpose as such, and hence such elements are not accessible by default. That means efforts are required to make such elements properly accessible. Now, when you create a button using such elements, you need to ensure that the created button is identified as button by assistive technologies. The created button follows the focus or tab order on the web page. That is, it is navigable using a keyboard and behaves like a button functionality. That is, it should be operable using a keyboard. This is where the ARIA techniques are used to make custom components accessible. When creating custom buttons, use role equals to button as shown in the example so that the assistive technologies identify it as a button. Now, role equals to button does not provide any functionality to the button, it only adds an identity to the development. Just like your Aadhaar card is your identity that you are an Indian citizen. Similarly, role equals to button only tells that this element is now a button and not a div. That's it. In order to make the button behaves like a button, you will have to write the functionality using programming languages. Coming to the keyboard operability, all the buttons, uh, whether they are native or custom, must be keyboard operable. To check this, make sure you use keyboard tab key to move your keyboard focus on the target button and shift plus tab key to move focus away from the button. You should be able to activate the button using enter or space keys. Now, to make the custom buttons follow the tab order, you will have to provide them with tab index equals to 0 attribute. The tab index attribute will only help the element to be focusable using keyboard. This will not add the functional actions to the button. For that, you will have to write the code. Now, once your button receives the focus, it is very important that the focus indicator is clearly visible to the users. This basically helps users to know where they are on the web page and what element they are interacting with. To make sure that the focus indicator is visible, you can use the CSS outline property by providing proper size and color to it. Now, let's suppose your button is ready. However, the button text is not clear to the user, or the focus indicator on the button is not clearly visible. In this case, people with low vision or anyone using the web may find it difficult to understand the button text. Hence, it is important that you follow the color contrast ratio guidelines as mentioned by WCAG. It is very important aspect when adhering to accessibility of button element. The button text should always be clear, descriptive, and meaningful as per the context. If a button says save and performs the action of delete, that does not make any sense. This might end up losing users on the website. Now, in order to improve accessibility for touch users, prevent accidental clicks on neighboring elements, it is important to make sure that the size of button is at least 44 pixels by 44 pixels. This is altogether a big topic and I will bring it to you as a separate video. I hope this video added some value to your knowledge base. Feel free to post your questions and suggestions in the comment box. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned for more informative content.